It's 5:30. It's time to get up and go to work.
Yes.
Get up.
Yes.
All right.
Dawn is breaking, and the first glow lightens the sky. An ochre veil spreads over the waters of Chian Lake, and everything reminds us we're in the heart of Asia. Birdsong gently awakens the Dong Nai province in Vietnam. This might almost be a dream, but reality soon rears its head.
Come on. You have to get to work. Six, 8, 9, get up. You have to get to work.
In Vietnamese families, children are often given numbers as names. Number 1 is reserved for the father, who, as head of the family, takes the symbolic number. Then the firstborn child will be number 2, the next number 3, and so on and so forth. It's a custom that has been adopted all over the country. Life is hard here, and people do the best they can to make ends meet. Even though the region is particularly beautiful, living in the country is not easy. Just a few years ago, the only roads were red dirt tracks. Even today, not everyone has access to fresh water. It has to be drawn from the lake, or a well has to be dug. Telecommunication systems are practically non-existent. In Dong Nai province, information passes by word of mouth. Only a handful of people dare live here, in the middle of nowhere. To do so, they've had to adapt. They've learned how to get by, organizing their daily lives by cultivating a system of exchange or bartering. Necessity is the mother of invention when you live so far away from town.
Tôi là Vũ Anh Quang.
I'm Mr. Vu Van Quang. I'm head of this family. I used to live in the city, and right after the liberation of the South, I moved here for economic reasons. Before, it was called Saigon. Even though today it's called Ho Chi Minh City, people from the South still call it Saigon. In the morning, I get up, I cut wood for my wife so she can cook for us and make rice brandy. I pump the water, wash the pigs, water the plants. I weed and then tidy up so that it's clean. And I feed the chickens and the fish. I've been living here since the liberation in 1976. That's quite a few years now. My children want me to go and live in the city, but I don't want to. They go to work there, but I want to stay and live here. It's a peaceful, quiet place. There's no noise, there are no cars. We're old, and life is peaceful here. If I want to work, I work. If I want to rest, I rest. If you want, I'll show you the house afterwards. I have pigs, I have biogas. There, that's the gas tank. It goes through that pit and through there. And we store it higher up, so we can use it every day. We buy very little here. We use our heads to find ways of surviving. We have gas, we have wood. We raise chickens to eat. We eat the vegetables we've planted.
Quang gave up on the idea of making a fortune a long time ago. His only aim is supplying his family with what they need. With very little money, he shows how human genius can overcome all.
Today we have water. We live a little better. I've just drilled a 50-meter deep well so we can draw water and use it. Now we live much better than we used to. A few years ago it was very difficult indeed.
Còn thời gian rảnh á,
When I have free time, I go to visit my neighbors.
anh em, thăm ông Tám, bạn
And my
thân
best
nhất
friend,
là
Mr.
lâu
Tam.
năm rồi, thăm lâu
I've
năm,
known
ông
him for a
Tám
long
trầu lứa.
time.
Ông Tám ấy cá.
Mr. Tam
Và
fishes
cứ
with a
một
net.
tuần lễ hoặc 2 lần hoặc một
Once
lần
or
thăm
twice a
ông.
week, I go and
Thì
see
ông
him.
cũng già như tôi rồi, thành
He's
ra
my
tôi
age and we
cũng
get on well.
không lên ống thì ông
If
buồn.
I don't see him, he's
Ông
sad.
lên mình, thành ra đi thăm ông.
So he comes to see me and I go to see him.
Có con cá.
Often when he comes back from fishing, he brings me a lovely fish.
Biếu là ông cái rượu.
And in exchange, I give him some rice brandy.
Còn ấy bắt đầu khu
It's the
xóm
same with
này,
all the neighbors.
hàng xóm này
If they need something or have something to offer, they come and see me.
cho mình hoặc là mình có
It's
gì
become a
đó mình.
custom.
Cuộc sống hàng
Life
ngày
here
ở
is
đây
quite
rất
simple.
bình thường.
I've been making rice brandy for 7 or 8 years now. Another reason for making it is that we use the marc to give to the pigs. I recuperate my investment by selling the alcohol. And with the profits, I buy more pigs. I distill 2 or 3 times a week to get enough marc for the pigs. If we want to make a profit, we have to find a way to reduce the cost of pig feed. We got this idea because the pigs ate a lot and it was expensive. So we asked friends for advice on how to distill.
Đổ hàm nha. Giờ đến giờ đổ nước.
It's time to pour the fermented rice into the water. It's already boiling. Distilling is not illegal in the country. Just as well because Quang usually trades his alcohol for food staples. His sake is very much appreciated in the region because his method of making it is unique and it has a very special taste. So when it's hard to make ends meet, his little distillery is a temporary stopgap while waiting for better times. I don't sell through an outlet, I only sell direct. Because here, when people don't have money, they trade goods. For example, they bring me corn that I exchange for sake, and I feed the corn to the pigs. Or fruit and vegetables that we eat. And those that have nothing to trade buy my goods. Quang has decided to visit his best friend. On the way there, he picks up a branch that he uses as a sunshade. Mr. Tam, the fisherman, has arranged to meet him on the lake's shore to take him out in the boat. It's already very hot, and the sun is a long way from its zenith. Quang is always pleased to talk about the good old days, but he's afraid of the water, and he's not happy about getting into the boat. He can't swim, and he has attached 2 plastic water bottles to his waist as makeshift life belts.
I've been here since 1957. I'm from the north. My house is nearby. I don't fish with a line, I use a net. I go out to place the net at 3 p.m. and come back at 6:30. And the next day I'm out at 4 a.m. to pull in the net. On a good day I can catch 5 to 10 kilos or more. On a poor day I'll only get a few kilos. For a couple of old people that's enough.
How many more years do you plan to fish before you quit?
I don't know. That's up to the good Lord. If he gives me good health I'll keep fishing, and if not, we'll see later. I'm old, my sight is failing.
Small-time fishermen have a talent only found in Vietnam. They can row with their feet. They sit in the front of the boat and pedal. This allows them to slide through the water quickly and without too much effort. In smaller boats with only enough room for one, they use 2 wooden pallets to paddle.
Mr. Tam isn't afraid of the water because his father taught him to fish when he was very young. When he came to live in this region, he found the quality of life incomparable. Tourism is not very developed here compared with other areas of Vietnam, where it contributes to the country's development. He's not out to get rich either, but to take advantage of a simple and peaceful life far from the bustle of big cities. He lives a traditional lifestyle and has no need for an outboard motor on his boat or more modern fishing equipment.
You're starting to get a lot of fish. Do you bring them up one at a time?
Yeah, I've got another one. Do you know how much this kind of fish is worth? Today, 80,000 dongs a kilo.
There's another one in the net. If we weighed them, we might have 5-6 kilos.
5 kilos.
When I fish, I sit myself down on the water's edge and catch just enough fish to grill. When Mr. Tam goes fishing, I go with him to keep him company. If he catches a big fish, he gives it to me. I thank him, and I take it home and grill it.
The truth is, he fishes on the edge because he's afraid of drowning in the lake. He's not like me.
He's afraid of dying? Everyone's afraid of dying. The real reason is when I come with you, you say you don't catch any fish because I bring you bad luck. Today you've caught a lot. You've been lucky.
The few fish he has caught are quite enough for him. He doesn't want any more. He knows that overfishing would harm the lake's ecosystem, and that's why he makes do with net fishing. When he's had a good day, he'll give the fish he doesn't sell at market to his friends, or he'll trade them for other foods. Lake Chi An is very important to the people of this region. It supplies their water needs essential for their crops in times of drought. Without this resource, life would be even harsher, and there would be far fewer people living here.
What's a good day's fishing in kilos?
A good day's fishing is above 30 kilos, and today it's an average day. I've got about 100,000 dongs worth.
I love feeding the chickens. I love giving them food. I really like watching them running around me. I like hearing the chicks chirping every day.
To make sure they grow good and strong, Nine gives them broken rice every morning. Her task is easier than her brothers and sisters' jobs because she's the youngest and still goes to school. When the chicks reach maturity, they'll have to manage to find their own food around the house.
I like counting the chicks too. 1 chick, 2 chicks, 3 chicks. 1 chick, 2 chicks, 5 chicks. They're running all over the place. I can't count them properly.
Three has the job of gathering up the dead leaves around the house. Because there are only 2 seasons in the south of Vietnam, the leaves don't all fall at the same time. In the north, there are 4 real seasons, even if the winters aren't too harsh and autumns are short.
I'm gathering the leaves for my sister and my mother. Later in the day, they're going to roast coffee. Here, we use wood for cooking, but these leaves are used to roast the coffee. And at the same time, we also clean up round the house.
Once his job is done, Three will put his sack in a place for his mother to collect it when she's ready to use it to roast the coffee later in the day. Don't put your hand too low. There, that's it. You have to learn to be gentle when you feed them. The fish are still little. If your movements are too sudden, they'll swim away and not eat the pig manure. Later, when they're a little bigger and you want to eat them, you'll give them corn fish food to eat for 2 weeks to clean out their intestines. That's what you have to do. That's it. That's good. Keep going. Gently or they won't eat.
In this tank, my father is raising 3 sorts of fish: hongfish, rowfish and chifish. He's teaching me how to feed them because he has a lot of work. I help him feed the fish every day. I feed them once in the morning before going to school and a second time in the afternoon.
The fruit of the coffee plant is a drupe or a cherry. It's made up of 2 kernels surrounded by a fleshy exterior that is not eatable. The treasure is in the 2 kernels. Mrs. Quang has left the grains in the sun to dry for several days. From now on, they will be called coffee beans. So that they don't mold, they must be spread out and regularly turned with a rake. To roast the beans, she uses a metal cylinder that Mr. Quang made himself. Grilling coffee is an art that only Mrs. Quang has mastered. When badly done, it can make the coffee bitter. The longer the beans are grilled, the darker they become, and the more full-bodied and stronger in taste the coffee will be. The oven is made from a simple cement block made by Mr. Quang. The leaves that Three collected will serve as fuel. Mrs. Quang will burn them gradually, making sure the fire remains constant throughout the cooking.
I think I'm the only one who roasts coffee in the area. People bring me the coffee beans they've grown behind their houses. I do the roasting for them in exchange for a portion of their harvest, or they pay me to do it. They sometimes ask me to roast it in a certain way, if they want their coffee with a lighter or darker roast, or sometimes even slightly burnt. They bring me the beans and we agree when they'll come back to get the ground coffee. With this work, I bring in a little money to make ends meet. I'm teaching my girls to do it so they'll be able to earn money someday. And at the same time, they help me with my work. I roast at least twice a week. Depending on how much coffee people bring, it could be just once a week. If people bring me a lot of beans, I work more often. You have to turn gently, and the fire has to be low and constant so that the coffee doesn't burn. Gradually, you'll begin to smell the coffee aroma, and a white smoke will appear. That means it's time to take the beans off the fire.
Until now, Vietnamese coffee has not been as common or as well known as Latin American coffee. However, its very special taste is wonderful. It has a subtle cocoa aroma that makes it taste a little bit like chocolate. Vietnam is not the world leader in coffee, but it's making progress every year. Vietnam is now known all the world over as a major exporter and the label Vietnamese coffee is seen more and more frequently in international markets.
Mr. Quang,
Yes, what is it?
I've come to trade these mangoes for your vegetables.
These mangoes, are they good?
Yes, they're very good.
Did they fall off the tree?
No, I just picked them.
Bring me the vegetables so I can trade with him. All I have is these. I'll pick some more tomorrow and bring them to you. In the meantime, I'll borrow the basket.
Yes.
Six, take these vegetables to the house.
Two, it's time to go to school. Wait a minute. Mama?
What is it?
I'm leaving for school.
Take care of yourself.
Yes, I will.
And make sure you work hard.
Yes, I'm going to work hard.
To find the Quangs, you had to know the region. It wasn't always so easy living here. All the tracks were made of dirt and there were no surfaced roads. It was not until 5 years ago that the government decided to build roads, thus allowing the population to get around more easily.
I used to live lower down, but now I've come to live here, higher up. There was no water. I had to drill a 17-meter well to have water for drinking and for everyday use. I installed this neon tube. People asked me what it was for. I explained that when I pump water, it shows me the water level, whether I still have water or whether it's empty. Then they told me it was a good idea. When I started raising pigs, I had to drill a second 50-meter well. I used this well to wash the pigs and water the plants. As we're a big family, we used a lot of water. I had to store water in a cistern, just in case there were electricity cuts. If that happened, I couldn't use the pump. So even if I didn't have electricity, I still had a lot of water stored for our daily needs. Sometimes friends ask me why I have 2 wells for such a small farm. It wasn't to make savings, but only because I didn't have enough water. I had to have 2. It's that simple. Now I always have enough water. I used to have to go to the lake when I needed more. I had to carry it, and it wasn't clean. The more food there is, the more the pigs eat. If you don't measure out the amount they eat, you won't make any profit. You have to dose it out as you go. If you pour it all out at once, they'll eat it all. I give rice mark that I mix with additional animal flour to these young pigs. They like that. They eat quickly. Then they go to sleep and grow big and strong. I mix the mark to economize on the feed. This is much more profitable. If I don't do this, I lose money. After making the rice alcohol, I recuperate the mark to give to the pigs. They eat it, and then they do their business. I recuperate the manure and I put it over there. I sell it to the farmers for their fruit and vegetable gardens. They buy all this manure. In the end, I even make a profit on the manure. Now that they've eaten, they're going to have a little siesta. When they wake up, we'll wash them down. And the wastewater will go into the pit.
The 2 sisters, 6 and 8, are getting ready to wash the pen, indispensable to the pigs' hygiene. Contrary to what people think, pigs love cleanliness, and they like being pampered and clean. Water is even a way for them to have fun.
My sister and I have to look after the pigs. As soon as they've fed, we wash them down and we muck out their pens so they keep clean. The dung is picked up and put behind there to dry. Later, the farmers will come and take this manure to use as natural fertilizer in their fields. I'm not a pig breeder, but I love looking after animals. I followed a training course set up by the government on health risks with animals to learn how pigs are raised. To restrict the spread of germs, I'm careful to clean out the pen every day. I wash the pigs thoroughly, and I take care of the cleanliness by regularly picking up their dung. My father raised up the roof of the pig house, so during the very hot period the air circulates better and prevents the spread of viruses that cause sickness. He's also started to set up a recycling system around the rearing of pigs. From the manure he makes fertiliser for plants. He generates gas so we can cook, and he even uses this dung to feed the fish we breed. He had to be very inventive to find ways of recycling everything. Otherwise it would have been very difficult to live here. We would almost certainly have been forced to live in town like most other people.
When we wash the pigs, the dirty water flows out of the pen and into this pit. See, it's a gas pit. That's where the biogas forms. The droppings that can be picked up are put behind there, and the other excreta, urine, excrement and so on, is cleaned and goes into the gas pit. That way, there's no smell. It doesn't smell bad and it's not dirty. When the gas pit overflows, the excess water goes into this second pit, which we also use. You see, there? This water we use for watering plants, vegetables and trees around the house. The manure, when it has produced its methane, becomes a natural fertilizer rich in nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, which give it its fertilizing properties. The wastewater, when it's stocked, undergoes a natural chemical reaction. After maturing, the organic waste also changes into methane. This is the workflow. We wash the pigs, we muck out the pen, the water goes into the pit, it gives off its gas and then goes up through this tube to fill this plastic balloon. The gas I collect in this balloon is the surplus gas. Otherwise, it would escape, and that would be a shame. So in order to avoid wasting it, I use this balloon to collect and store it. When I have too much gas in the pit, I open the valves to let the surplus in here. I store the gas just like I would in a gas bottle. I use the gas pit first, and when that runs out, I use the gas in the balloon. Otherwise, I just use the gas from the pit, and I leave the surplus for when I need it. If I don't keep an eye on the balloon, when I wash the pigs, the plastic swells and splits, then bang, it just explodes. It makes us jump, but it's not dangerous. It's only air. The older balloons split much quicker, but these new ones are much less fragile. When the sun comes out and warms it, the gas is better. The same goes for the gas ditch. When it's sunnier, the slurry decomposes quicker, and that facilitates the production of methane. And when we burn the methane, it gives a blue flame. But in cloudy or stormy weather, the gas burns with a red flame, which means there's very little methane in it. The redder the flame, the poorer the quality of the gas. That's why we have to buy a bottle of gas for rainy or windy days. And also after we've sold the pigs, or when the weaners are too small and don't produce enough excrement to make gas. At the moment, the pigs are full grown. Each time we wash them, we have gas. The methane develops so rapidly that we have a surplus each time. I'll use this reservoir of gas as a backup if we need to carry on cooking. The gas bottle will provide an extra burner when friends or family come to visit, because then we need several burners for cooking and rapid preparation. But using the gas bottle is expensive, more than 400,000 dongs. Using this system is more cost-effective for me. We don't need to buy gas. It's economical, it doesn't smell, and it's clean. There you have it, biogas. Come and have a look, and you'll see whether my gas burner is good quality or not. I use this gas to heat water and for cooking. You can see it's very powerful. As I said, we don't use the gas bottle very much. It's only used when we have guests in the house. This gas is quite sufficient for our daily needs. We use the gas in the morning. During the day, more is produced, and by evening, we have gas for cooking, and so it goes on. Not far from the Quang house, a few people are working in a family business. All day long, they fill little transparent bags with sawdust so fine it looks like earth. They make a bottleneck using a piece of plastic tubing held together with an elastic band. Their movements are fast and efficient, like very skilled machines. The bags are very carefully stowed in large metal baskets. With a pair of pincers, the worker delicately picks up a piece of wood and puts it inside each packet. The bags are then transported into a nearby shed on a wooden handcart. The packets are hung in columns, one above the other. They're attached using raffia twine, forming compartments similar to those of a hanging garden. The packets of sawdust are watered every day, usually in the morning. The water trickles down so that each one gets its share. The shed has to be covered in order to prevent evaporation. The mushrooms that grow here need two things, darkness and humidity. Otherwise, they wouldn't grow inside their nursery.
My name is Ingenious. I live in this commune. This variety of mushroom is called a white cat's ear mushroom, and we grow it in this region. These mushrooms are in the first stage, the incubation stage. They're not yet ready. We can't harvest them yet. The next stage is the bolus we see here. It's in the center and it develops into a dome shape, which is known as a mushroom bolus. The third stage is the transformation stage. The cup-shaped mushrooms develop into a plate shape. And once they develop into this shape, they are mature and we can harvest them. These mushrooms are used in cooking, for sautéing with vegetables, or for creating desserts. This is the variety of mushroom we grow and eat here.
When the mushrooms are mature, the hanging garden looks like a library of flowering vegetation. Vietnam adopted this growing technique to compensate for the lack of space, but also to cope with the growing demand for this delicacy.
Tôi tên là Thỏa, ở Bom Đồng Nai, Việt Nam.
I'm Toa. I live in Dong Nai in Vietnam. I do the watering for a week, 10 days. That allows the mushrooms to develop by absorbing the water.
có thể thu hái được.
A week later, the mushrooms dry out and then they can be harvested.
Lúc thu hái thì nó nằm trong khoảng
It takes 1 month to 6 weeks from beginning to harvest.
thu hái thì đến giai đoạn
Then we have to dry them in the sun before they are ready to sell to the cooperative.
bán cho các tiểu thương cung cấp đi các chợ đầu mối.
Mr. Quang,
Yes, what is it? Oh, you want to do a swap with some liquor? Hang on, I'll be over. You've got a lot of mushrooms, I see.
yes, I want to do a swap.
Thanks a lot. See you next time.
Thank you.
Here, although money is obviously in circulation, it isn't used very much. Barter is more approximate, but it makes for good relations between neighbors. Globalization and economic development have overtaken these practices. But in the countryside, people keep to the good old traditional ways.
These mushrooms look very good. There are black ones and white ones. They look very good to me, very good quality. We just need to put them in the sun a bit more to make them keep longer. He's brought me beautiful mushrooms. They're enormous. And this excellent pineapple, it's already ripe. I've done a good deal. Come on, get to work. Check whether these vegetables are spoiled or not. That one is all right. It can be cut. It's hiding behind the leaves. Make sure they've not been eaten by bugs. Don't cut the smallest ones, only the bigger ones. I've been planting this vegetable for many years. I know it well. You have to be careful. The fruit is often infested with aphids. That one can be cut. If you have a good spell, it's okay. If not, it's a bit more difficult.
This plant, we'll have to keep an eye on it. We'll put some manure around it and then water it. Usually we water every 2 days. Otherwise the fruit doesn't manage to develop or the plant wilts. Here we all know each other and we've got into the habit of swapping. I mean, we give some of our fruit for other fruit. It's the custom that people have adopted in this area. We don't talk money. We don't use money values either. We prefer to barter amongst ourselves. There are some people who come from elsewhere to buy our vegetables. And when they come back often to see us, and they're nice people, we give them, or we offer them, a bit extra. That's always welcome.
I weed around the base of the plants. Later on, we'll put down some manure as a natural fertilizer.
If my wife didn't pull out the weeds, when we put the manure on, then it would be the weeds that would grow. So we weed around the plants. That stalk, attach it here. And that fruit, it hasn't developed. We need to cut it off and throw it away. You, get the hose to water the vegetables.
People love to eat this vegetable because it's sweet and it's easy to cook too. We toss it in a little oil. It's very tasty.
We water every day or every 2 days, but if it rains, we don't need to. You pull the hose.
More?
Yeah, a little bit more slack.
I'm at the end.
Water there and there. Water both sides well. I water these vegetables so they can drink and grow big. It's getting late. Turn off the water. We'll go back and prepare a meal and rest at home. Turn off the water. We're going back home. Where are you? 6 and 8. Help your mother prepare the meal. Go in and help her with the cooking.
Peel them thin. That's it, like that. One day, when you're older and you see people prepare this vegetable, you'll know how to cook it. 6. Have you finished getting the fire ready?
Yes, Mum, I finished. My mother is always teaching us how to prepare nice dishes like this one we're cooking. Do we toss it with garlic, Mum?
Cook the garlic in the oil. Then when it smells good, we add the vegetable and we toss it in the pan.
Should I cut another one?
Yes.
I would like to learn to cook several dishes. Later on, when I have a family of my own, I can make nice food for them.
In Vietnam, in the country round here, it's important for a woman to know how to cook and look after her home. It's the mark of a good wife. The mother also plays a major part in the education of the children. Mrs. Quang is very glad she has 3 daughters. They're a great help to her in the daily tasks. The 2 older ones already know how to prepare meals. She doesn't have much more to teach them. Now she just gives them advice on the various ways to season the dishes.
Tôi được căn nhà này xây trước họ thật.
I built my brick house before anyone else. Now all the others have also built theirs in brick, of a better quality. It doesn't worry me. I'm not jealous because I have a wife, children, and a lovely family. We eat well, we live well, everything's fine. As you can see, I've got everything I need. I'm not rich, of course, but at least I have enough to eat and sufficient for each day, thanks to my own efforts. In town, I couldn't lead the life I want. There's noise all the time and it's very hot. In the country, there's fresh air and the trees give cool shade. We're a close-knit family. We stick together. For me, that's the most important thing, and that's enough for me.
I feel more comfortable in the country. I find that life is happier than in town. Of course, there's some things, some advantages to living in town, but I'm happier here. Living here has always suited me.
The time I like best is the family meal. I really think it's the most important moment of the day. We all gather together, my parents, my brothers and sisters. Meal times are always peaceful and jolly. It's a time when we can all express ourselves and say whatever we feel like saying. Sometimes there are big decisions to be made at these times, but generally it's very convivial. We also take advantage of meal times to plan the next day's work.
I already have a family of my own, but from time to time I come and see my parents and my brothers and sisters. The visits are a pretext. In reality, I come to help them with their daily tasks before going home to look after my own family.
I don't have a family yet. I live with my parents. My job is to look after the pigs. After the government training course I took, I enjoy looking after animals even more. I like being in the country. It's quieter. You're not bothered by the noise and the lights of big towns. I'm happier staying close to my parents and my brothers and sisters.
At the moment, I'm still at school, and I'm trying very hard to make a success of my school year. If I succeed, I would like to undertake long-term study at a higher level and carry on as far as possible. Later on, I would have more choice to pick a good career that suits me. It would give me a better lifestyle, and I could help my parents and my brothers and sisters. I wouldn't want my parents to be upset if I don't succeed. I want them to be proud of me and to see what I was able to achieve by studying, that I could do anything I want to.
The peasants need protection from the hot sun, so cover themselves from head to toe. Working the land is hard, and young people are leaving the countryside. That's the way of man. He renounces nature for modern life. And yet, only nature can provide for his needs. He simply forgets that he is also part of nature. This exodus means that women have to work as hard as men. And for them they had to invent appropriate tools, like a simple bicycle wheel which is turned into a device for weeding the fields.
That there is the rice we plant, guacai. The rice we scatter, you can see it over there. Tondi umai is what we plant in rows, one row alongside another. There are two methods. Luasa, the peasants sow the grains like this, and luakai, we plant one plant at a time. When peasants use the luasa method, they scatter the grains and let the plants come up wherever they fall. But then they thin them out as they grow. And here we sow plant by plant like this. It's called kai. The plants are small at the moment, but when they grow, they fill the space. Here we plant according to the space available. We take advantage of the first rains that fall to plant and harvest the rice before the rainy season. After, it'll be impossible because the lake will overflow and flood all over this part. So we do it now while it's still possible. The patch is not very big, but it's quite sufficient for growing for our own consumption. In the region to the south, such as Can Tru, there's plenty of water for growing rice, an enormous number of paddy fields down there. These days, Vietnam grows rice for export, and they harvest 3 times a year. 1 hectare can produce 6 tons. Vietnam is the foremost exporter of rice. We grow just this patch, so we don't have to buy rice. Here we're repairing the dike to keep the water back. When the water comes up, it'll overflow here, and there it'll still be held back. Then it will overflow again to come down there. We keep back the water so there's enough in this patch. And when there's enough, it'll overflow, and then we'll fill up here and overflow, and so on. That's why we build artificial dikes with these stones. Children, come and say goodbye.
The sun is beginning to set. We're getting ready to leave. I shall never tire of watching my Uncle Quang living in such perfect harmony with nature and demonstrating that by optimizing all that nature offers, one can live far from everything with very little means. But this all depends on one thing: the inventiveness of man.